Welcome to Fort Fritz, your one-stop for news, current events, and all forms of entertainment relating to the paranormal, the supernatural, the Fortean, and things that go bump in the night, all packaged and presented in the form of know-nothing know-it-alls entertaining the unknown. Hello, I am Fritz, and for the next hour, I will be your host, joined as always by Mandaddy.
Hi.
And Kaz.
Hey.
Angela has the night off. Let's get right into it. Quantum physics. What the hell is that?
Cool.
It's pretty cool, yeah. Little tiny, things, bouncing around each other and,
making stuff up.
Yep. And people
making your reality and whatnot.
People think quantum physics basically is it's the breakdown of everything we know to be true.
Right.
Good luck with that.
So, just really quickly, because I don't know anything this story is talking about, but it's
physics noob.
It's phys.org, phys.org, and the title is Study Uncovers New Electronic State of Matter. Basically, two professors, and this was at the University of Pittsburgh Department of Physics and Astronomy. They announced the discovery of a new electronic state of matter. So they would take one experiment and they would direct electrons in a semiconductor with a metal base, and the electrons basically go wherever they want to go. But then when you hit it with a voltage of electricity, then they all start flowing in one pattern, right?
Okay.
Then they used a ballistic conductor, and a ballistic conductor pretty much makes the electrons go in certain channels. If it's one electron,
fires.
However, yeah. They then started running into random numbers when they did this test. And if you want to know more about it, it's phys.org, phys.org. Study uncovers new electronic state of matter. They started finding a sequence of numbers that just kept going on and on and on and on. And it was 1, 3, 6, 10, yada, yada, yada. They then realized that is Pascal's triangle.
Oh.
One pattern is 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21. So the sequence in their data was 1, 3, 6, 10. That meant some electrons were composed of just one electron. And then you had this form of matter that was 3 electrons, 6 electrons, 10 electrons. And Kaz, earlier today, you were like, you know what? Whenever people ask me this question.
Yeah, we were talking about the Descartes thought experiment, I think therefore I am. If your brain could be tricked into thinking that visual things exist or audio things exist, then why couldn't your entire experience be tricked?
Well, all of reality could be whatever.
Well, my answer to that is because math exists. That's kind of a universal. It doesn't matter what you think or what you feel or what you see or what you hear. There are universal kind of truths about our existence, and they're based on math.
Yeah.
There is math kind of dictates, the amount of force that, gravity is pulling down on you, or the pressure that the atmosphere.
Well, it's a quantifiable way. It's the way to quantify.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that, because that exists, there is something that is kind of universal and not just in your own mind.
So this, again, happened at the University of Pittsburgh Department of Physics and Astronomy. This is exciting because with this different state of matter, they think that this will be used in forward-thinking quantum computers, and this might be related to quantum entanglement, which can be used for quantum redistribution and nerd. But
very important nerd that helps us understand our reality.
Exactly.
Nerd.
Really, really cool stuff. And this just came out. So this is cutting edge stuff. February 13th, 2020.
But there's always the paradox of the observation paradox of whether the outcome has changed because it was being observed.
So we didn't know that we had this kind of quantum matter before, a new electronic state of matter. And that was found right here. And
so gas.
Those are electrons. It could be any matter.
And then
maybe plasma, light.
Plasma, yep.
So we didn't know
sound.
We didn't know that electronic state of matter existed until last week. And speaking of sound, Kaz, yeah, you got that
right. Yeah, sound's a thing. Again. Sound's totally a thing.
This is just a few days ago. MysteriousUniverse.org. Police can't find cause of demonic sounds at Colorado restaurant.
Sweet.
This is a McDonald's, and it happened at 3.
It's a chain.
Why would it not be? And that's no slight to McDonald's.
No.
It happened at 3:30 a.m. and employees did not know what
was it from the bathroom.
Hell. They didn't know what the hell was happening. So they decided to call the cops.
911, we have demons at the McDonald's.
They said that there were just wild sounds coming from somewhere. They couldn't really figure out where it was because everywhere they walked, they would hear it. And the cops came and opened, walked all around. They found nothing. They found absolutely nothing.
Where was this again?
So there were no demons at McDonald's. Just so we can get that clear. There are no demons at the McDonald's.
There's no demons at the Pueblo, Colorado McDonald's.
Okay, at least that one.
Maybe raccoon, maybe some type of very vocal rat or something.
Vocal rat.
Like a particularly vocal rat.
Ratatouille sort of thing.
Anyway, it could be one of those rats, but the cops came, and so from the actual Pueblo Police Department tweet, and this is at PPD Watch IV Cap, like CAPT. At about 3:30 a.m. this morning, officers responded to a business in the area of Pueblo Boulevard and Northern. Employees reported hearing a woman screaming and making, quote, demonic sounds, unquote, to include speaking in a strange language and barking. They were so unnerved by the sounds that they said they wouldn't be going back outside their building until after the sun came up. I'm assuming they meant inside. 3 officers searched the area but didn't come up with the source of the disturbance. Or I don't know, maybe it was outside. I don't know. But the police department didn't find anything and, went all around, because that's why we call the cops if it's like, hey, look, someone gets paid to check this out. I'm not going to.
I wish, can we just branch it off? And I would gladly, if the cops are like, nah, dude, I'm not going to the haunted McDonald's. They call us.
Yeah.
Then they call us. They're like,
who
do we dispatch? And I'll take it for whatever, $20
cool.
a call. We don't need to go per hour. $20 a call. I'll show up.
A piece.
We'll walk through. $20 a piece.
Yeah.
A call.
That would be awesome. So
we show up at your McDonald's. We sweep.
They probably hasn't been swept in a while.
Pueblo, Colorado has a lot of lurid backstories, though. Would you like to hear about them?
Sure. Tell me about Pueblo.
So the Fort Pueblo massacre occurred December 25th, 1854, and that was a retaliatory attack by native Mawachi Utes because one of their own had been killed. And it also had an orphanage and an insane asylum. And then there was a great flood of 1921 that killed 1,500 people.
Jeez.
And then there's one McDonald's nearby. This guy, William Morgan, died under mysterious Freemason-related circumstances.
What does that mean?
That's an actual category of death?
I didn't know what the hell that meant. I was like, God, I hope it wasn't butt stuff gone wrong.
How free is your Mason?
That was my first thought. So that was a Freemason S in 1826. That was in Lewistown, New York. And his ghost rattles chains and haunts this McDonald's.
He's got chains?
Yep.
The Masons chained him up.
And then there's the appearance of a mysterious giggling girl, and she haunts an Oklahoma McDonald's, and she occasionally
What's with all these haunted McDonald's?
Exactly. McDonald's has a lurid backstory, man. So you take Pueblo, you take McDonald's,
you got ghosts.
Boom! That's a cosmopolitan of ghost cocktail right there.
It's like that goo underneath New York and Ghostbusters too.
We should do a tour of haunted McDonald's.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
God.
I could eat all the French fries.
Fish? You could do the fish fillet?
Yeah, I could do a fish fillet.
Yeah.
Then there's a McDonald's in Suero, Texas. It's Cuero. I would imagine that's Suero.
Cuero.
Well, Cuero would be a Q, probably, right?
Austin.
Maybe.
You don't know.
Yeah, so that's Cuero, Texas, and that's built on the site of a gas station where a child was tragically run over and killed, and a mechanic was crushed under the car lift.
All at once?
Yeah.
Wow, that was a hell of a day.
In this one location.
Exciting day at the gas station.
So both of their ghosts just scream whenever they want.
That's a lot.
And then this Colorado Springs McDonald's just up the road from Pueblo, the last one, it's haunted by the spirit of a Native American man who is heard walking and rattling keys, and he also just screams in the kitchen.
Just screaming ghosts.
So, yeah, and that was special thanks to Weak and Weird for these stories, and that was from mysteriousuniverse.org. They always source site.
Week, W-E-A-K, or week like a semana?
W-E-E-K, semana.
Yeah.
Weak and Weird. I got a couple of things. I don't think I have time for the 3 that I have left. So, you know what? I'm going to end with.
Give us the juicy. It was the juiciest
one. That's the juiciest one.
Juiciest one. I will post a video of a new Sasquatch video at realradio.fm.
Love me some Sasquatch.
But I'm going to end on a positive note.
Aww.
This is from ladbible.com. Blind man claims he regained sight again after getting hit by a car.
Again?
So he lost his sight when he was very young. I think it was around 7 from a really bad allergic reaction.
Dude.
And then in 2018, he was using a pedestrian crosswalk. He is blind out of his left eye. As he was walking, a car, I guess, lost control and hit him, and he fell on the bonnet, which is the hood, right?
Right.
On his left side, the left side of his head, or maybe the right side. And when
It's one of the two.
Or the front.
Or the front, yeah.
Or the back.
Smash right into it.
So his name is Janice Garage. I'm going to say.
Sure.
It's Januz.
Janice.
And then
Janus.
Garage. Joraj. He's from the Polish city of Gorzał Wielkopolski.
Sure.
And
the Poles.
yeah, and it just said at a young age he was blinded. So this car hits him, boom, fell on the bonnet, hit my head. So he doesn't say. And then I slipped and fell on the road. He was taken into the hospital because a spokesman for the hospital said when you get to a certain age, your body doesn't heal like it used to. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So he probably had like a really bad, maybe back or hip, injury. As he was being treated, they didn't care that he couldn't see out of one eye that was already injured, right? Like he presented at the hospital, he was already half blind. Then he just, in about 2 weeks, he started seeing out of his eye, and he was like, "What is going on?"
And you're like, "Yo,
hey, hold up here! Everything's stereo for some reason."
Isn't that crazy? He has good enough vision now that he is working as a security guard in the same hospital that gave him back his sight.
Nice.
And doctors don't know if it was because of a mixture of the drugs he was on or what. But he
smacked in the head. It's like when you like blow on a Nintendo cartridge or like whack your VCR on the top.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, gotta give it a little reset.
I hope this guy doesn't think this is like the cure-all for everything, though. If he gets ED,
you never know.
Yeah,
just jumps out in traffic.
Boxers right now are like, if they only knew, sipping on their Hennessy.
It is the cure-all.
Keep trying that, buddy.
So good job, Janice Garage from Poland. A doctor, Miss Wisniewska, said
Don't even try.
There's so many vowels.
It's just vowel soup.
Anyway, and it's like it's the opposite of Russian. There's no vowels.
Yeah.
So Miss Wisniewska said his eyesight did improve within 2 weeks. We don't quite know what caused it. Maybe the mixture of drugs he was getting during that time. He was also under large anticoagulant medicine. And that was mixed in with some of the other drugs, so I don't know. Maybe it kind of blocked. Yeah. So good job. And on that note, hey, look, there's always hope out there, right? You always have a brighter future. Fort Fritz.
And take your anticoagulants.
Right here on Real Radio 104.1.
Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Fort Fritz, hello. I'm your host, Fritz. You're listening to Real Radio 104.1. Right there, we got Kaz. And we got Mandaddy.
Hi.
Mandaddy's going to talk at us for around 15 minutes.
About that, somewhere around that.
Mandaddy, what would you like to talk at us about?
I got some movies here. We got 2 movies to review. These are, I usually like to do things that are coming out either to video on demand or things like that you might have missed, passed over, that are just coming to HBO and things like that. And so I got 2 movies. First is the Charlie's Angels movie.
Ooh.
The new Charlie's Angels movie.
New Charlie's Angels?
Yes.
Does it star Charlie Sheen?
No, it does not. It should, though. That would have added a different layer.
Barrymore?
No. There is a reference to them. That's one thing that one of the few things I really liked about it is they did reference the other angels.
I know this one. It was directed by a female, right?
Yes, it was.
And it's got Kristen Stewart.
Yep.
And it's got 2 other women.
Very stern-looking woman.
She's very attractive. Kristen Stewart is very attractive, but
sternness does not preclude
cold,
any kind of
I think maybe cold
attractiveness. No, absolutely. That's it's the whole school teacher thing.
Yeah, but
school marm.
A little bit, there's also you got your Naomi Scott is also in it. Is it Elia Belinsky? I think is that Belinsky. And Elizabeth Banks is the one who
Ella Belinsky.
Ella Belinsky. Absolutely gorgeous woman.
Naomi
She's
Scott has the best smile I've ever seen.
Of all the smiles, have
probably.
you seen all the smiles?
I don't need to.
Oh,
she wins.
Elizabeth Banks was the one from Hunger Games.
Yes,
she was in
and Pitch Perfect.
And okay,
yeah. And 40-Year-Old Virgin. She was in that too.
Okay.
Yep.
I think she's hilarious. She's funny. She's good in this movie. Funny. The movie is just. We rated it as entertaining. You know, like when you're watching a movie and we weren't looking at our phones the whole time or anything like that. But a lot of times we were just like, does
Mrs. Daddy like subscribe
Lady
to
Daddy?
Does Lady Daddy subscribe to the beard poll like rating system? Does she?
I have asked her before to rate things in beard polls. We didn't get one for this one for her, but she has in the past. And it's just, first of all, Kristen Stewart's character, every single time she talks, it pulls you out of the movie. Just everything she does, and it's not necessarily her fault. It's like the way she was written to be this kind of edgy. Hey, I'm lesbian in case Cage can tell. Lesbian, woo! And it just always took you out of the picture for some reason. And the action is decent. That's one of the saving graces of the movie. Is the action is actually kind of fun, and the locations are cool. There's a dance sequence out of nowhere that's just horrific and unneeded.
I kind of like a nice like. Out of place dance week.
No, exactly. Not Bollywood. No, not Bollywood.
Oh, God, I love me some Bollywood.
Oh, I love anything Indian, man. Their music is so badass.
It's totally different. All those half tones, quarter tones, and stuff that we can't get into.
Their diet.
Yeah, that's true. One of the saving graces of this movie, though, is Sir Patrick Stewart. Sir Patrick Stewart is in it, and he's great. He's a saving grace of this movie. He has a few of the greatest laugh lines in the movie.
Listener certified.
Oh,
we need to start saying Sir Patrick Stewart. Listener certified.
Yeah, man, is a genius.
He's awesome. Picard, his new show, I'm digging it. Like 5 episodes in. Digging it.
It's good.
It is good. It's what
I've heard. It's a lot of fan service.
Oh, of course, it has to be.
Which
it
is
should
good.
Be.
Exactly.
It better be.
They're trying to get people to buy the whatever NBC All Access app. Like, yeah, they're like, you better CBS.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, CBS All Access app. Yeah, you better.
I think it's
service
CBS.
the fans.
Yeah,
service me,
you're
bro.
You're gonna get me to pay.
Eye contact.
I think it's
Look
CBS.
At me while you do this.
Look at me while you Picard me.
You got Picarded.
I think it's a CBS All Access Plus hashtag.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
it's
make it
pretty
easier.
long.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
But he's the best part of the movie. It's just if you're a Charlie's Angels freak and you got to see it, please do. Of course.
Angels
they exist. I'm sure they exist. There's freaks about everything.
Who's Charlie?
Popular culture. He's the one who leads an international spy conspiracy ring, right?
That's one of the twists. That's a part of the stinger. Okay. I can't tell you about that. But I'll give it. I don't know.
Wayans.
No, he's not in it, surprisingly. But you know what? I've decided that a show isn't a show until John Hamm shows up.
Yep.
Because John Hamm is in every good show.
Everything.
It's like, how is this show? It's not. Oh wait, John Hamm's here. It's a show. It is now officially a show. Parks and Rec. He shows up.
Parks and Rec.
Yep. He's in everything.
John Hamm.
He's actually on an episode of Fort Fritz. He's just standing there. You can't see him. You know, it's just since we're a podcast.
Next time we'll give him. We couldn't find.
We should have said so. We're like, hey, John, give us.
The lines weren't right. He's tough to work with, honestly.
Yeah. He was just over there smoking his celery cigarettes.
He's intimidating.
He is. Well, next time.
Yeah, next time, definitely.
We're building.
We're listening to John Hamm. But I'd give it maybe a 3.2 maybe.
Out of 7?
Out of 7, you know. So not...
A 3.2 is really high compared to what I've been seeing online.
Yeah, that's giving it some.
Jesus.
That's giving it some. Like I said, we weren't looking at our phones that much, so at least it's dumb enough to entertain you where you're like, you know,
there is that. Like, if you want to rip on something bad enough, you're like, you're getting into like, look how bad this is. Like, we're engaged in this.
So it's fun for that.
That's true.
It's
That's
fun
fair.
to riff tracks on it, you know.
Okay.
Now the other movie,
and you watched it. That's crazy.
The next movie, it was come on.
I'm messing.
And where'd
with
you see this again?
Where'd I see it?
Yeah.
It's coming to video on demand.
Video on demand, Spectrum,
and all those
Central Florida region.
Yeah.
So whatever your cable provider is.
There you go. Check your local listings. Now the next movie just came to Netflix. Came out in 2019. It just came to not Netflix. Excuse me. The next film actually just came to HBO. So if you got the home box office, it's called Ma.
Ma.
Simply Ma. Hey
Ma. That's when I'm like 4 drinks in and I'm explaining anything to my mom. No, Ma, listen, you go online, Ma.
Ma. Now, this movie, I really enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fun.
Do tell.
Octavia Spencer is the main character. She is Ma. Juliette Lewis is in it, too. She does a great job.
Nah.
It's got Allison Janney in the smallest role ever. I mean, she's in like 3 scenes as a veterinarian. It's the weirdest thing that she took that role. She had to be a part.
I like Juliette Lewis because she, the band she was in, And I saw
The
her
lips, Juliet and lips or something like that.
I don't know, but I saw her at South by Southwest, and she was so trashed.
Oh yeah.
But someone just goes, Juliet, and she turned around and she goes, woo! And everyone just went, all right, yeah. Like she was just like, in
I
it to win
completely
it.
forgot she had that band.
Yep.
She would. It was kind of Iggy-ish. She had some Iggy
Yes.
in her. She had some Iggy in her.
Punk rock as hell.
But Ma is a lot of fun. It's a, I guess, a horror thriller. I guess a little more thriller than horror. And that's one of the things I really liked about it is that it kind of kept you guessing, kept you bringing it, and then the third act is like, and here's all your horror. All the horror is in the third act. That's when it just ramps it up and takes it to town. And it's about Octavia Spencer basically plays an older woman that befriends some high school kids by buying them liquor. And which is a great way to meet people. It really is. Just go around and buy liquor for people. It's always a good way to meet people. Not illegal at all. And so she befriends these high school kids by buying them booze, and then eventually gets it so they come and party in her basement. Instead of going to the rock quarry where they usually go, they end up going to her basement, and that becomes like the town party place for the teenagers. And, as you can guess, it's a horror thriller. Things go horribly wrong eventually. And it is just a really fun ride. I don't want to give away too much because there's a lot. You expect it to be one way and it goes a different way, which I really like. Where you're like,
I enjoy that.
You think like, oh, it's going to be totally this. Like, oh no, it's totally something different.
This thing made money.
Oh, it did do well?
Yeah.
I didn't check the stats on it.
It cost $5 million to make.
Yeah.
How many millions do you think it made at the box office?
10.
120.
Okay. Wildly different. Wildly different. 10 would be closest. It made 61.1 million because the other guess was 125 million.
Just do it to say.
It's still
I
$5
liked
million.
it. I really liked it. So I was just kind of hoping.
Would you say that $5 million represented the represented of?
Oh yeah, because I mean it's not effects heavy or anything like that.
Okay.
That's
it's very simply done.
Yeah. That's a very well budgeted
That's a modest budget.
movie. Yeah, $5 million and it made 61.1. That's a hell of a return.
Well done.
And like I said, I don't want to give away too much. You think you know what you're going to get, and it throws some nice curveballs at you.
The best part of storytelling in modern TV, you need that, or movies, you need that left hook because everyone thinks they know where it's going, and to mess that up when someone's watching it is very cool.
Yeah, with the Lock and Key, I finished Lock and Key, and I'm sure when Angela's back, we'll discuss it more. Oh yeah, of course, it's a Netflix one. They drop it all at once.
I got to do that.
Joe Hill.
Yep, Joe Hill. And
Points.
That we'll discuss. We'll discuss further. But that has a final season twist that you see coming about 30 minutes before they display it.
No, don't tell us.
And I'm not going to.
No, go ahead and tell us.
But okay, well, here's what happens. No,
turn off the radio. No,
never turn off the radio. Never.
The worst idea.
Turn off your whole car.
Never do that. Turn off get out of your car, put your fingers in your ears, and start going la 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 la.
The worst idea ever invented is, well, if you don't want to hear it, just go ahead and turn down the volume of your radio. We're gonna tell it right now, just so we can talk at it.
Yeah, you're never getting those listeners back. They're gone.
No,
they're going somewhere else.
We really enjoyed it. Call in if you think you liked it.
Yeah,
that's all you gotta say.
But this movie really a lot of fun. If you're into horror, into thriller, Octavia Spencer does a great job as Ma. Juliette Lewis is really good at it. She's very good. She's just I've always liked her as an actress. I mean, come on, Natural Born Killers. That movie is just stellar.
National Lampoons.
Oh yeah,
Dust Till Dawn.
Vacation.
Oh yeah, Dust Till Dawn. Forget about
Oh
that
my
one.
God, yes.
That's the scene with Selma Hayek. That's a scene for the ages right there. Men, women, just everybody.
Yeah,
just absolutely stellar. But
why do you look so down, Kaz?
Because he's not with Selma Hayek right now.
It's on we exactly. It's remembering a better time. And that was.
I think Brian Posehn was talking about being on a talk show with not her, but Kate Beckinsale or some other beautiful actress, and her being so beautiful it angered her. Just sitting next to her going, "What can have you?" just so beautiful, you're angry at her. Just did you see her at the Golden Globes? By the way, Selma Hayek. No, I'm serious.
Aside, but hello, girlfriend.
Hello. Talk about Golden Globes. That's all I can say. She was at the Golden Globes and she brought her Golden Globes with her.
Is that a breast?
Comment? Or? Yeah, I'll show you the picture. Trust me.
Her awards? Did she bring her awards for being such a talented actress?
Her award-winning
personality.
Here for the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
But so, my final summation, I would give Ma. What would I give Ma? I would say 5.75.
That's a good.
I like that we're
showing.
Getting deep on the decimals now.
So it's a 5.75 out of 7 for Ma.
I want to hear someone do it in fractions, like a
4 3/4.
Yeah. What's it called? It's like irrational or mixed numbers.
I'll give it 4 and 17/29.
-I.
Someone at
It's
home,
imaginary numbers.
someone at home does the math and goes, "Oh, that's good."
Oh, that's good. I'll give that a cosine of 58, am I right?
Wait, hold on. Oh, that's a good math joke. Meat math.
It always goes back to the meat math.
Hi, I'm Mandaddy. Meat math.
I'm branding that now, so you can't have that's a registered trademark, Mandaddy. Meat math.
All right.
But all right, so
God.
that's
How many beer pulls was it?
for meat math itself?
5.75
For the movie, oh,
5.75 for Ma.
Oh my
And it's
God.
just came to HBO this month, so dig into it. I really dug it, and I hope you dig it too.
This was a Blumhouse production.
Blumhouse.
So
I heard they just came out with their remake of Fantasy Island, and a friend of mine said it was horrible.
Yeah, I read some bad reviews.
Or
of
it was really bad. 'Cause it's a bad idea. Just let's remake Fantasy Island, but make it a horror film like Saw.
Mandaddy,
Yes.
before we leave,
Sure.
this song that we're about to hear,
Yes.
tell us all about it, and how did you find it?
Well, when I'm at home, and I'm at home most of the time, I barely leave my house anymore. It's amazing. I exist in just these four walls.
Well, you got two hands, don't you?
Yeah, I got plenty to do. And so I listen to Spotify, and on Spotify I use the daily mixes all the time, and there's one channel that they send me every day that is just nothing but nerdcore. And I listen to a ridiculous amount of nerdcore and nerdy stuff and songs based on Dungeons and Dragons and just some of the nerdiest stuff you could absolutely imagine. And this song popped up one day, and it was stuck in my head all day today.
It's catchy.
It's catchy as all, and if you're a Simpsons fan, you're going to absolutely love it. So if you're a Simpsons fan, if you're a nerd, check this out. It will be stuck in your head, I promise you.
And what is it?
It's called The Best of Times, The Blurst of Times by Dankmas.
You're listening to Fort Fritz right here on Real Radio 104.1. That was a B.
Hey!
Thank you.
Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Hi, and welcome back to Real Radio 104.1, and you are listening to Fort Fritz. I am your co-host, Mandaddy. Over there we have Fritz.
Yellow.
Angela has the night off. And right over here we have Kaz.
Hey.
And Kaz is now going to talk right into your ear hole about some really cool stuff.
Talk at me.
Do it to you.
So, first things, really quick, I started watching The Sopranos for the first time. Like, I know I'm late to this whole thing.
Little
but,
late. A few weeks.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
People absolutely love that
I
show.
really like it. I really enjoy it.
How far?
I am
Like half an episode.
No, I'm a couple episodes into season 3, so I'm
Oh, okay.
like kind of like
Hearing some
I'm
meat.
getting in there.
Hearing
Yeah,
some
I'm
meat.
getting in the meat. But I really enjoy the way they get into the kind of surreal, like kind of dreamscape, like nightmare stuff that happens, and it's fantastic. The acting is fantastic. The writing, like occasionally it drags a little bit, but
And this is The Sopranos.
The Sopranos on HBO, yeah,
Little indie show most people haven't heard of.
I'm digging it. Like I get why it was such a big deal. It kind of waited a long time I always thought I'll wait till it ends and then I'll go back and check it out. And apparently I heard from one of my friends that there's going to be a movie coming out where Gandolfini's son is going to be playing a young Tony Soprano, which will be cool. So this kind of lines up with finishing that up and then potentially getting to see the movie. So if you have not, if you're one of the like 7 people out there that have not checked out The Sopranos,
I haven't watched every episode.
Yeah,
I just know about it.
I've seen some, but
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I'm really enjoying it. I also had my first, and I am, I've done a lot of segments about video game news. Which another quick aside, Elden Ring, which is going to be the collaborative effort between From Software
R.R. Martin
and George R.R.
R.R.
Martin. And I was talking about it with one of my buddies earlier. I have not, at this point, ever played a From Software game that disappointed me.
What
And there
were
have
the
been
other
a
ones?
lot. What?
What are some other games?
So obviously Dark Souls is the main one.
Okay.
Dark Souls is the main series that they did, but also they came out with Bloodborne. Bloodborne was a game that I played multiple different times.
Tell me about that game. I hear a lot about that game.
Bloodborne is fantastic. Dude.
Is it role playing? Is it action? What you got going on there?
It is. It's so Dark Souls is such a good combination of mechanics and story and atmosphere that it spawned an entire genre of video games called Souls-like. And Souls-like games are, I believe it's called The Surge was one that came out recently.
Difficult and...
Right, just kind of like third-person action games that kind of like make you that are more difficult and deal with...
So play it on easy is what you're saying?
Well, and there is no easy. It deals with making you decide whether or not your imminent death, you have to know that you're going to die, and then also how do you kind of play the game to you lose things upon your death, so how do you mitigate your loss versus how you go forward? You have to either backtrack and
sounds infuriating,
store, or you have to forge ahead and be confident in your ability to not die and lose what you have. So Dark Souls, obviously amazing. Bloodborne is a very similar but closer to an action-y kind of RPG game. If you ever played like a Bayonetta or Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah. See, I thought it was more in that sort of edge.
What is Devil May Cry? Is that like a zombie?
Is a Capcom game.
Great action game.
Right, it was like an action, not a beat 'em up, but it was a very, very early,
not a hack and slash either. It's
early
just...
stylized kind of hack and slash shooter that was really well received. Actually, I remember when the first Devil May Cry.
This guy has nice hair.
Dante?
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's Dante.
White hair.
Dante with the red jacket and the white hair. Yeah, he's got an aesthetic. The first Devil May Cry came out, I remember going to Hollywood Video with my dad to rent it, and we rented it, and we started playing it.
That's points.
And me and my little brother played about like maybe 20, 30 minutes, and I looked at him and I was like, turn this off. We're going to buy this. I don't want to rent. I don't want to have this for another 2 days. I want to have this forever.
Yeah, because renting was only 2 days back then.
Right. Or like 3, or you could do the 5 if you wanted to like get the extended thing.
Different protocol.
Yeah, for like $25.
Right. It was going to be like the weekend rental, and we were playing it, and we played like 20, 30 minutes. I was like, shut it off. We got to do 2 games.
How old were you?
I forgot how.
4.
I don't know.
Already calling shots. 4-year-old kid.
Turn it off.
Stop it now, Dad.
We're going to do this. We're going to buy this.
Stop. We're not recording anymore. Stop.
Devil May Cry and Metal Gear Solid are the only 2 games I specifically remember being like, I need a job so that I can get money so that I can purchase this and have this around all the time.
Man, you were already cowtone of the man.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
No, absolutely. I was a company man early. So I mowed lawns for Metal Gear Solid.
No regrets.
And then
0.
I think I cleaned the house like a bunch for Devil May Cry, but we ended up getting Devil May Cry. That was really fun.
So you're like dirtying the house while it happens. Oh, look at that. Oh, spilled up. Bottom up this floor here.
Yeah, if anyone's going to clean it, it's going to be me.
So I was cleaning Munchausen by cleaning proxy.
Please, Mom, I'll clean those dishes, and then you just smack them out of her hand. Oh, you're so clumsy, Mom.
That's why you're always falling down the stairs, Mom. So,
gaslighting your mom for video games.
Bloodborne was...
Bloodborne
had a lot of the actiony kind of like elements to that. There's a lot of dodging and like Counter-Strike and stuff like that. Like it was fun.
I'm digging God of War right now. God of War 4.
Okay, so if you like that kind of gameplay style, and I will say that Bloodborne is the perfect confluence of a Dark Souls kind of universe with an H.P. Lovecraft Chian kind of
son of a bitch, I'm in.
Kind of influence, and then combined with a Devil May Cry or kind of beat 'em up hack and slash gameplay mechanic. So it's fast, it's frenetic, but it also has this it goes from what you think it's going to be to something completely off the rails. Like it takes several left turns you're not expecting. Bloodborne is spectacular. Okay. Sekiro is another one that we talked about. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I enjoy that game thoroughly. I actually recently started playing through with one of my buddies, and it holds up. It's fantastic. So Elden Ring, I'm excited. I saw the release date is going to be June of this year, but from my experience with From Software games and also from George Martin, it's not released Book 6 in however the hell long, George.
He can take his time.
It's fine. But so this says June 20th. I will anticipate probably holiday season 2020. I think like it'll get delayed till fall, and then it'll get delayed a couple more months, and then I think 2020 will be like when it actually like lands. So look out for Elden Ring. I'm excited about that. We'll be talking about that as soon as anything comes out. Actually going to be in the Taipei Game Show this summer. I think it's in August, the Taipei Game Show.
You're going to be there?
No, I won't.
Oh, okay.
Elden Ring will be
Oh,
there.
man. I was like, man.
That's cool.
You should start the segment
If
with
we
that.
can, yeah.
You buried the lead, dude.
If anyone wants to like fund my trip to the Taipei Game Show in the summer, I
Go
will.
Throw it out
fun,
there.
Kaz.
Throw it
Yeah,
out
well,
there. Lord knows Sabrina does.
I
She
will
tells me
definitely get out
multiple times, look, whenever you need stuff like that done, just talk about it on the radio.
Guys, send
need a
me
car right
to
now.
Taipei.
I love her to death. So, Cass, also The Last of Us was postponed as well, correct?
Correct.
Because
Yeah,
it was supposed to be
come out-
coming out this month, and now it's not.
Correct. Something I believe I heard. What was it? May.
I think May.
Well, that guy's got some bad luck. The more I'm playing that game, he just has
Oh, you're
some
not
bad...
finished yet?
No, not
Weird.
yet.
Oh, I'm so excited, dude! You got to finish for the next. You got a week.
This isn't going to be your check it out, is it?
No.
Okay, so, yeah, do you mind, Cass?
Please, no. I like.
Tell us a
I'm
little bit about
intrigued.
where you are on the
Yeah, where are you?
your original first playthrough
Yeah.
of The Last of Us.
Ah, so exciting! I wish I was there.
Well, they met some people, and those people aren't around anymore. That's, I'll say that they met a guy and a
Dude,
girl.
this game has
the
been out
guy
for
and the-
years. You can spoil. Like, go.
I can't remember the name of the characters. The when they meet
So
up with the
you
guy
are
and the little
Joel,
girl.
and then Ellie is your companion.
Yeah, they meet up with the other couple of an older guy with his, I think it's, what is his
Hey,
sister?
son!
Okay,
His
yeah.
son.
yeah.
Yeah,
Son, yeah.
And
That's
then,
in a
they're-
suburb.
And they're not around anymore.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
so
a good one, right?
it just this like everyone around this guy is just not having a good time.
So wait-
he's just really a bad luck schleprock.
That's after the sewers?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
How cool was that when you
Very
got done
cool.
with that chapter?
There was just some really good moments of action where you're just like when you get through the part, you're like, ugh, unintentional circle back.
Through season 3 right now, I would give it a solid 6.3. Like I give it
So,
6.3, 6.4. Like
terrific.
we're high up. Like
Yeah.
I'm
People love
enjoying.
it.
Yeah, I'm
People love
enjoying.
it. Don't stop believing.
I don't feel bored when I'm watching it. Everything
That's
is.
almost a perfect score.
It's fantastic. Like and I'm
Jeez.
a third of the way through.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I heard that. I believe that like
That's
the midway
fantastic.
point of the show also coincides with the writer's strike, which happened in what like 01, 02.
Oh God, I don't remember.
All right, so very cool. 6.3. Outstanding for The Sopranos.
It's pretty
And
good,
about
man.
this, you could either watch the entire series, The Sopranos, or you could just watch The Irishman. It'll take you about the same amount of time.
Boo this man.
Because they're long, and it's a long.
The
movie.
Irishman was. I gotta rewatch it. I was distracted when I was watching it.
Because yeah. Alrighty, that sounds great. There's some things for you to check out in the video game world, and of course, you want to check out a show that everyone's already watched, rewatch it again, and then you can call Kaz and talk about it. And now it's time for us to do a little thing we call a checkout, because we're going to check out, and we want you to check out some stuff that we've checked out. Hey, Fritzy, what do you want the people to check out?
Well, that's a hard question. So let me, I'm going to toss it over to Kaz. Hot potato while I think about it.
Hot potato, quick hot potato.
Thank you
Okay,
for
so
catching. Thank you.
Oh.
my go-to has been again. I have been cooking at St. Andrew's Pub on 1119 West State Road 436 in Altamont Springs, Florida. It is an English pub. We serve up some fantastic fish and chips.
Fantastic.
Today I heard someone lean over completely apropos of nothing. I'm walking out of the building and I heard that is the best fish and chips I've
heard that
ever
too.
had.
I
Yeah,
heard
Oh, it's so good.
it's
It's a plank.
very unique place, and also just kind of like we were talking about earlier, portals. It's a strange there's a strange, again the word, confluence of people that like meet there. So like you can meet a lot of different strange people there.
There's always a
And-
nice vibe.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very cool place, and you might catch some of the Fort Fritz crew up there, and they serve amazing food, and there are drink specials. And come up, check it out. St. Andrew's Tavern, West State Road 436, 1119 West State Road 436.
Outstanding.
Alrighty. What do you want us to check out there, Fritzy?
Well, I think I know now. So I was listening to King Crimson
Yes.
today, and I gotta say, it was the first time I'd listened to King Crimson outside of 21st Century Schizoid Man.
Yep.
So I decided to listen to their new live album. I think it's called Meltdown, and it was recorded in Mexico City. I want to say 2017, might be 2019. They've been around since the 60s. I think that's the way to do it, to check out an old classic band. Check out their latest live album, because they're going to give you everything. And when you hear them doing it now in today's setting, you get it. So let me recap the entire album. Chirping, chirping, chirping.
Sounds about right, honestly.
I'm a huge King Crimson fan, so that's mildly offensive.
It was
mildly offensive.
It was cool background music.
Okay, here's a story. I don't know.
I like
You're chasing a mouse around like a cartoon.
Listen to this story. Had a friend whose father was a huge King Crimson fan. And when their first album, 21st Century Schizoid Man, came out, he bought 2 copies. He bought one to listen to, and one he kept sealed to be played at his funeral.
Nice.
That's devotion.
That's how big of a fan he was. Well, while we were friends,
funny story.
While I was friends with his
Funny
son,
story. He died.
yeah, I know. We played it and it rocked. No,
it was a Raffi album.
He
That
had a
son of
hippie guy.
bitch.
He had an old hippie friend of his that was down his luck, stay at his house for like 3 weeks just because he needed a place to crash. He came home from work one day, and the hippie guy was like, "Dude, look what I found! It wasn't even open. I had to take it for a spin." And so the guy had opened up his funeral album and listened to it. He was like, "Well, there's that. Can't redo that. Can't make that happen again."
And that's when his dad just takes out a handgun and goes, "I regret nothing."
He just goes for it.
I thought he was going to take out his phone and just pop on Amazon and get him.
No, this is before. This is like 30 years ago. So there was no Amazon at the time.
Columbia House Records.
Yeah, everybody still owes them a nickel or whatever it is. But for my checkout, hi.
Radio edit.
Yes. For my
Kid
checkout,
Rock.
of course.
Kid Rock.
No.
Sorry.
He was the bull god. Now he's just a jackass.
I'll let you punch me in the taint later.
Hardcore taint punching going on later at the fort. So my checkout, I would, of course, like you to check out my trivia night. I do a trivia night at Orlando Brewing on the 1st, 3rd, and if there is a 5th, Monday at 7 o'clock at Orlando Brewing. And also, I'm doing bingo there on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays. Just coming out. If you don't know any knowledge, you just come out there and sit there and win bingo stuff by just sitting there and just being a lump.
Being lucky.
It's real easy. I do that. And also right now, because it just came on to Game Pass, I'm going to be checking out the Call of Cthulhu on Xbox One the next few days, just because I am a fan of the Cthulhu arts, and before I learned about the virulent racism behind H.P. Lovecraft.
I tempered myself. I was going to say that earlier.
I was going to ask if he knew what he named his cat.
Yeah, that's the worst. Like once that's how all you have to say to an H.P. Lovecraft fan. It's like, oh, I didn't know. Check out the name of his cat. That right there.
Go to Google that.
Go Google that, and you'll be like,
and then tell me if you're super still into H.P. Lovecraft.
But anyway, so I'll be checking that out. So if you want to check out Call of Cthulhu, it's on Game Pass. It's on Xbox Gold right now. So I'll be checking that out. But that's what we do. We check out stuff. We talk to you about stuff. We do stories. Remember to check out all the full-length episodes. We just have a new one coming out where we talk about Jack the Ripper. Yeah. And we go deep into his storyline and let you hear about all the gory details.
By the way, Russ Rollins goes, my wife was saying there's a show on 104.1, and it was just talking all about Jack the Ripper. And I go, yeah, that's Fort Fritz.
Yeah, buddy.
Goes,
yeah, buddy.
Immediately. He goes, yeah, that's Fort Fritz. And I was like, thank you for telling me that, man. Like, really made my day.
That's brand recognition right there.
There you go. It's all about the branding. But that's what we do. We check out, we listen, we tell you, and we report back to you at the end of the week. We experience a bunch of stuff, and then on Fridays, we report back to you.
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening.
Ain't gonna change.
Keep listening. Check out the full episodes. Get the iHeartRadio app. Participate. Text in. Send us messages on Facebook. Look for us on Twitter. Search us out. We'll find you. Thank you very much for listening.
We'll find you.
We'll find you.
We'll find you?
We'll find you.
Don't tell them that.
We're coming for you wherever you are. Jeez. We will find you. We
Wrap it up, bungle over the buzzer, knocking on the door.
Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Until next time, pleasant dreams.